Ciao Juventini, welcome back to the All Juve Cast channel where of course it's all Juve all the time. I'm Alberto and this is your Christmas Eve edition of the news. Alright, we're going to take a look at everything surfacing around La Vecchia Signora. We've got the latest youngster to have contract negotiation talks begin. Alright, we've got Di Maria speaking out about his future. Then we're going to take a look at Chiesa's status and what's coming up for him this week. We've got more potential targets in the Mercato named for Juventus and a fresh appeal in the Plusvalenza case to tackle. So let's get into it. Alright, Juventini, friendly reminder, like the video and of course subscribe to the channel. Alright, let's get into it. So Dean Huijsen, the youngster, is the latest to receive contract extension discussions with Juventus, and they're looking at 3 years, okay, and is actually very, very close to being finalized as of this morning. Alright, so props to the youngster. Whether they are going to be integrated into Juventus or even used as bargaining chips, one thing's for sure, Juve is locking these young kids down. And Arrigo Sacchi, in an interview just the other day, speaking out about Juve and the work they're doing with the youngsters, they're being praised all across Italy, and there are other clubs looking to do the same as Juve's been doing with the Next Gen project. So massive feather in our cap at Juve there for the youngsters. Now, Di Maria speaks out about his future, and he says, of course, he's going to stay till season's end with Juventus, and he says it was never in question. Now, while he says this, there are other offers coming in for Di Maria, and one of them is back in Argentina in his homeland, all right? But he says he's going to remain. Now, Barbieri and Cambiaso are being evaluated as solutions for the fullback situation at Juventus, and that means that they would basically stop them from doing as much work in the Mercato. So Cambiaso and Barbieri very much in the mix amongst with all the target names we've heard over the past few weeks, all right? Chiesa is going to be back with the team on Tuesday. He's going to be ready to play December 30th in that friendly, all right? So it should be all systems go for Cremonese then in the second half opener January 4th. Juventus are also looking at Emil Holm of Spezia, okay? So the right back, and there are talks about a possible exchange, and Sule's name is one of them that's included there. Now, it's very, very much worth noting here that it's a loan exchange, all right? So if they can work this loan, they were already thinking about loaning Sule out in January. That's probably going to be a done deal. If they can somehow work in a right back to help and support Quadrado for the second half of the season, they've achieved perfection in my opinion, all right? So there you have it. As far as another target for Juventus, Juve is looking at Singo, okay? So he is in the mix amongst all those other names we've heard. The only issue there is that it's going to be a high asking price from Torino, but Juve is confident after working the deal out with Bremer that they can maybe figure something out for Singo as well. Last, certainly not least, there's a fresh appeal in the Plusvalenza case. FIGC have a hearing set for January 20th. Now, worth noting that it is the exact same story. Inflated capital gains, all right, and it's already been acquitted twice. Look, at what point do we say enough is enough? I continue to stress at one point, maybe once this thing's settled, or maybe even before, Juve needs to push back in full force because enough is enough. Inflated capital gains is an absolute farce and an absolute joke. There are no parameters stating or measurables stating that you can only sell a player for a certain amount, all right? If two teams agree to the deals, whether they're writing their books or not, there are no regulations against it, all right? So enough is enough, all right? So if you've been hearing this news or whatnot and you're getting concerned, hey, I'm not concerned. Don't be concerned either. Already acquitted twice. I expect the same here, all right, because it's an absolute joke. That wraps up your news edition for the Christmas Eve edition, all right. From all of us here at AJC, I hope you have a safe and happy holiday season with you and your loved ones, all right. And I also remind everybody that this time of year is not always so joyous and happy for some, okay. So if you're struggling or whatnot, one thing I always open up is our channels to people that might be having a tough time through this season, because it seems to amplify during the season when everyone's with their loved ones and their families. So if you need someone to talk to, our social media outlets are always open, so you can DM us, and if you ever need to talk, we can do it. All right. So again, just don't ever keep it inside or be alone. All right. I want to see everybody happy through the holiday season. All right. Till tomorrow's Christmas edition. Fino alla fine. Forza Juve. Ciao tutti.